Today is the last day in Kyoto where we will be on our own, and that's because our regular tour with Inside Japan starts this evening. Prior to the trip, Gail and I prearranged to have our faith affirmed at the Kyoto Shinshu Nishi Honganji Buddhist Temple in Kyoto. Prior to our affirmation service, the taxi cab driver dropped us off at the Higashi Honganji Temple, which is fairly close to our other temple that we belong to. And this is an enormous temple, as you can see, and very impressive. Upon arrival to the Nishi Honganji Temple, where we will have our affirmation service, we had an opportunity to just walk around and look at the temple grounds. Our friend in San Francisco, California, Brian Nagata, helped us set up a meeting with a sensei in Kyoto, and her name is Tabitha Kobata, and she was basically our interpreter during the entire ceremony, and we appreciate everything they did for us. The affirmation service is basically to affirm our faith in the Kyoto Shinshu faith, and in the process we receive our Buddhist name that we will be called upon our death. The affirmation service is also a way for Gail and I to express our gratitude to our faith and embrace all beings without discrimination. The entire affirmation service only took about 30 minutes, and we also had a rehearsal just prior to that, which was fortunate because there were a lot of things to remember for our ceremony. And so we also had a couple of Buddhist ministers off to our sides that went through all the procedures of what we were supposed to do during the real service. And that was very fortunate because we would not have remembered everything. After our service, Tabitha Kobata, our sensei, that was our interpreter during our affirmation service, also gave us a private tour of the temple, which was very full of information and things that we did not know about our faith. I was just amazed at how beautiful the temple grounds looked, and the gardens, which is rarely open for the public, which is kind of amazing that they don't open it up to everyone. But I felt very grateful that we were able to see the gardens. After we left the temple, at the suggestion of Tabitha Kobata, we went to an all-tofu restaurant where everything was made out of tofu. And for those who know what tofu is, it was quite amazing because we had all kinds of dishes that were made out of tofu that we never would have guessed were. And one example was a cheesecake made out of tofu that if you were to close your eyes, you would not have known you were eating a tofu cheesecake. Tonight is officially the first night of our Hidden Japan tour. And from the Kobata family, there's Nancy and Brian and Ann and Kevin and Jason. From the Ballard family, there's Vicky and Glenn Ballard and Gail and I. And then we were also met or introduced to 5 other people in our group. One couple named Lisa and John from Chicago, Illinois. And then there was Doug and John, who are from the Seattle, Washington area, and Alette from Ventura, California. Brett Plotz is our tour guide for the entire trip. what can I say, but Inside Japan was great to hire Brett as our tour guide. We couldn't ask for anything more. He was just an amazing guide who got us through hotel check-ins, taxi cab directions, to eating out. He was just everywhere. I don't know how he did it, but he did. And we couldn't be more happier than to have Brett with us for the 13 days that we are on this tour. The first night together, Brett took us to a restaurant where all the foods were specific to the Kyoto area. Some of the dishes were maguro sushi, tofu, and karaage chicken, and many more that I just can't remember because there were so many dishes. We also loosened up a little bit by ordering beers and many different cocktails. Maybe not for the Kyoto area, but it was for this restaurant. Also, Brett introduced himself and also introduced the 5 new people that are in our group, and it gave us an opportunity to intermingle with them, and plus intermingle with our own family members too.